Welcome to the culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, music, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. It's a lifestyle. We are the culture.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of The Culture. I'm your host, Jessica Garrett Modkins, and joining us today is a friend of the show, RER Consultant CEO, Ruban Roberts. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Jessica, and welcome to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So excited to have you on the show. It's so much going on as always. But I want to start with talking about yesterday afternoon with the Tri-County press conferences that occurred with the South Florida Black Prosperity Alliance. Can you tell us a little bit about the mission of the alliance and what was the press conference all about?
Yes, thank you for asking. I think this is a very important thing to share with your viewers. The South Florida Black Prosperity Alliance is an alliance that was set up. It started last year sometime at the advent of George Floyd and the coronavirus. We were just seeing that there are so many disparities, glaring disparities, disproportionalities, and inequities that we're facing in our community when it came down to social justice, criminal justice, and how folks were being treated. When it came down to just with the virus and how disproportionately African Americans were affected because of comorbid issues. This is what we were told. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, we were looking at what was going on in the business sector and media in your neck of the woods. You know how just things are portrayed in such an awful way when Black folks are really prospering and thriving, and we're just often seen as, down and out, or just really a real criminal element to us. And so we decided to, put something together so that we can service our own people, in South Florida. One of the major things was the PPP was happening, and nobody, none of the small Black businesses or firms were getting the PPP. Right. And so we had CDFIs where, the PPP could have gone through CDFIs like through the Miami-Dade Chamber or through Opelika CDC and various other CDFIs that they could have gone through. And so, we said, well, listen, we need to make sure that these people are aware of what's going on in our community and how we understand our community and how we can better serve our community. Well, while we were doing that here in Miami, same thing was happening in Broward and Palm Beach counties. And so we said, it's better for us to join our efforts and see if we can do this as a tri-county collective. And we came up with the Black Prosperity Alliance. And so what the South Florida Black Prosperity Alliance does is going to service the whole needs of our Black community, right? And so we're going to be looking at areas like education, economic development, along with public-private partnerships. We're looking at education on the high school level and college level, making sure our achievement gaps are closed, making sure that we have opportunities for folks. We want to look at housing. We want to look at food deserts and nutrition and that sort of thing. We want to look at all of these mental health and healthcare, where there are disparities as far as those things. So this is not your old attempt to just come in and complain about things that are going on. We partnered with a couple of universities, Florida Memorial's one, and also FIU, that will help us in looking into disparity studies and help us to create a manifesto once we study in all of those sectors that we talked about, that I mentioned earlier, where those gaps and those areas of deficiencies are and the equities are. We want to make sure that we can address those things in a very proactive way and help to create policy changes, but not only policy changes. There are policies that are in place right now that are on the books that right now they are not being enforced at the level that they need to be enforced. So what ends up happening is that you have folks who are in position to really benefit from some of the policies that they have, but no one's really enforcing them. So we want to be that watchdog. Anybody that expects our votes during their election cycle, You want to go to our churches and speak. Anybody that expects our votes, we're going to be watching and seeing what you do, how you vote, how you affect our community firsthand. Anybody's receiving dollars from us from business that we do, we want to make sure that we know what you're doing in terms of your giving back and participation to the community. So this is not an egregious thing. This is just something that we know we need to do to really help ourselves. We are going to help us. But at the same time, what we're asking is that those who are benefiting from our resources, that they put some skin in the game as well. So we're not coming to folks asking them to start with the skin. We're going to put our skin in the game first, right? Right, and hold folks accountable and give people information. So no longer are the days of we can't find a qualified candidate for this executive level, this C-suite position. No, if you can't find them, come to the South Florida Black Prosperity Alliance, and we'll help you find that person right here locally. You have to go out of the community. You can't find a vendor that provides this type of services. You need a PR firm. We got a PR firm for you. We have this. If you're talking about true inclusion and equity and that sort of thing, we have that. If there's some educational programming that Black kids tend to fare better with, we want to let you know about that program that you can use to really engage students and help them thrive. And then we want to also let you know about things that you can do to help these kids with their success rate in graduation and entering into colleges and universities. So our network that we have is going to be very powerful. We have those entities that we described. We have civil rights organizations like the NAACP, other organizations like Urban League, the different chambers in Broward-Dade and Broward-Dade and West Palm Beach County. So it is a true collective, something that I don't think that has happened before. And we're on fire. We're ready to definitely. We rolled out yesterday. It was beautiful. We had the Mayor Cava and the mayor from the city of Miami come out. Yes, Suarez come out on Thursday to really show support. And to me, that's phenomenal, because when we talk about making these policies changes, we're talking about doing it on all three levels. We're going to go local, state, and federal. So to know that we have the local support, and we also had the school superintendent attend as well. So Cavallo. So we are really on fire. We're asking folks to really, join our efforts. And like anything else, this is something new. So, we're going to have that learning curve, and it's going to be a process. But definitely, we're moving forward, and we're continuing to move forward. And we invite all who wants to support our efforts to participate in those things.
And then it's not just closed to nonprofits or anything like that. Private corporations can join. Just go to the website and click the contact us, fill out that information data questionnaire. I'll drop the website in the comment section below so that you all can take advantage of that wonderful website. That website is just
yeah, I wonder who created it. I don't know. I can't even. I bet you it was one of our very powerful Black vendors that we have that can do this type of work on any level, and that's one of the things that we want to promote. We want to promote Black business. We want to promote Black success. Gone are the days of walking around with our head low, what was me type of thing. No, we are very powerful people. We are very resilient people, and we survive, we thrive, and we want to make sure that the world knows that. At least in the South Florida area, we're starting here. We want them to know that, and that's the position that we're taking. Head high, chest out, making sure that folks know that we are prosperous people. And you know what? The most important thing is, I must say this, and I'm glad that I thought about this before we ended this segment. Black prosperity is not to the exclusion of anyone else prospering. You know that if Black people are prospering, everybody is prospering.
Right. Right.
I want to say that again. If black people are prospering, everybody is prospering. So that's the mindset that those who hear this should take.
Yes. It's just like the conversation that's going on this month, February.
Right.
And they're talking about Black history. And then finally somebody said, no, Black history is history.
That's right.
This is not just history for Black people. This is history, period.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, we
Right.
can talk all day.
When you look at, especially when you're talking about in America, there would be no America had it not been for the black people that were enslaved in this country to make America the first world country that it is.
And
I
even
mean,
go come local and talk about the Black man who signed the chartering for Miami.
right.
The Bahamians, your brothers.
The Bahamians, right? My brothers, right. They gave them the rights for like a day or two to sign that charter. Then they took the rights away from them. But yes, the contribute, and then in every major city, state, and that you have, or major state you have, Black Wall Streets. We had one here in Rosewood. You had them there in other states where you have black communities that thrive. You had them in Georgia. You had them all over. And folks who had racial animus could not stand to see black folks so prosperous. No other group of people have been attacked the way that we have been attacked. No other group of people have been maligned the way that we have been maligned. And so, this is why I say that we're very resilient people, and we've accomplished so much. And that's the message that we need to send out more than anything else. And you know what? We can't depend. Let's talk about the media. We can't depend on other outlets to provide that information to us, for us.
That's why I started the culture. That is exactly why I started the culture. I was tired of the story not being told, messaging not being given in regards to Black people, positive things going on, and they don't want to cover it. I'm talking about the mainstream media here in Miami, did not want to cover it. So if it's not bleeding, it's not leading, they're not covering. I'm sending out B-roll. I'm sending the press releases, giving them the quotes, giving them the information to do the story, and you're still not going to cover it. If it's something traumatic that is just a hindrance to my community, you're not going to cover it. Okay.
Yeah. So think about that. Think about if you grew up in a community and you don't have any exposure to black folks. Your only exposure to black folks is what you see on TV. And every time you turn on the news, although there are 1,000 stories a day about positive, progressive things that are happening in the black community, what you see front and center is someone getting shot, some bad acting person who happens to be black doing something, and that's front and center. So if you have no other exposure, then in your mind, you're programmed to believe that when I see these people are trouble.
Right.
And so that's part of the problem. So one of the reasons why when I was president of the NAACP, I created an initiative with the Jewish Federation to bring our black youth with them, with the Jewish youth. We traveled, we advocated for social justice issues, racist issue, criminal justice reform up in Tallahassee for the last two years. And the reason I did that is that these kids the Jewish kids are growing up in a system where they already have access. Their parents are already CEOs and executives, they're developers and that sort of thing. So when they graduate or go to college or whatever and graduate from college, they have access to these folks who can provide opportunities for them. My thinking is, let's give our black kids that same access, And so when they graduate, hopefully they'll have just as much opportunity because they made those connections early on. So this is what we need to do. If you truly believe in this whole thing, one community, one goal, you truly believe in helping all people, you truly believe in addressing the disparities and inequities that we face in our community, then that's what we need to do. Make the playing field level.
Right.
We have always spotted everyone else 10 or 15 yards in that 100-yard dash, and we still catch up despite the odds.
Yes, we do it every time. We were talking about that. I think I want to say last week on My Two Cents. The conversation was about. I'm not sure if you've heard Master P. You know who Master P is?
Yes.
Okay.
First,
He was talking about a new app that has launched. It's called Clubhouse. It's only available for people who have iPhones. And the culture, our Black and brown sisters, have gone in and they have turned it into this multi-billion-dollar enterprise for this young man who came up with the concept. He doesn't look like us. And Master P was saying that the time has come for us to step in our power and understand that here we are once again providing a platform for this company who doesn't care about us to become a publicly traded company probably, and to go on and make a lot more money than what they could ultimately be evaluated for right now. But he was just urging us to just try to be that vigilant, that passionate about our Black and brown brothers and sisters who have companies, not to downgrade them, but to support them as well. Right. We went into the conversation about networks, Fox, the WB. You had Martin, Living Color, and Sister to Sister, these television sitcoms that came out. They were Black, and then after all of these Black sitcoms propelled these networks to get these ratings, they dropped all of the Black programming, and they haven't looked back. Fox is another one. But yeah, it is.
When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I want you to think about this. Your program is so appropriately titled, The Culture. There's no other race of people that have the type of influence on culture than Black people. When you look at dress, style, music, whatever, everyone copies us. Mm-hmm. Globally, not just in the United States. You go to Japan, you go to China, you go wherever, you go to South America, wherever you go, whatever our style is, whatever it is that we do, this is how much influence we have. Right. But we have to recognize our power. Like you said, we have to recognize our power. Now, I'm glad that Master P talked about that. And there are a couple of people from New Orleans. There's this one young lady, I forget her name, but she's developed a makeup line.
Oh, the crayon box or color box.
Yeah, the crayon box. This lady was like she was like a server. She served food or whatever. This lady is like a multi-million-dollar business now. And it's just something that she saw a need. And if you listen to her story, oh man, it's so impressive. She saw a need and she filled that need. And the community came behind her. So just like you're talking about with this other guy's business, this lady came out, and because she was so genuine and she was so raw, people just really, really gravitated to her. And I guess her product must be good. I mean, I don't know anything about cosmetics or whatever, but it must be very good because she's doing very well for herself, extremely well.
It's called the Crayon Case. The Crayon Case. And her name she goes on social media by Super Scent. Yeah,
Super Scent, exactly.
And her products are unbelievable. They look awesome. They look awesome. I mean, congratulations to her. She's just doing things, and I'm excited for her. She has so many different products. The crayon, Anyway, but to your point, I love it. Wait, I don't know where the time is going because I want to talk to you about our culture and mental health and wellness and the program that you wrap and the wonderful things that you've been able to do and the thousands of people that you've been able to impact here in South Florida. Can you please tell us about mental health and wellness, your website, how to get in touch, and what it is that you all were doing with that.
Sure. So, RER Consulting is my company, and we've had the great fortune to be awarded CARES Act dollars to administer a mental health and wellness program during COVID-19 pandemic. And this happened, it was only around for like roughly 3 months. So we had basically two months and a half to target over 3,000 people. So we reached out to over 4,500 people and got them to complete surveys. So let me give you the nuts and bolts of the program. So one part of it was just going out, community engagement. The second part was making sure that we got folks to complete the surveys. The surveys were important for this reason. Surveys really capture data on how people were faring in terms of stress levels, depression, anxiety, and support. And once you've completed that survey, you would get a scorecard. The scorecard will be given to you right there on the spot. You take the survey. It took about 10 minutes to do the survey. And then you had the option of, if you saw that your stress levels were high, or you're high in any of those domains, then what you could do is you can put your email address, because it was all anonymous. We didn't get any identifiers. Put your email address in, and then one of our folks from our trusted partners, we had a couple of partners, New Horizons was one, and also Barry University was the other. So one of our trusted partners from New Horizons care coordination team would reach out to you. They would do a brief consultation. Once you guys scheduled through email, do a brief consultation with you, and then find out what other services that you need, and make sure that they linked you to services. Let me tell you the importance of this. So while folks are being reached out and asked to participate in the testing for COVID and participating in the vaccinations, what we're failing to realize is that these folks are in need. So it's just like what the Bible says, if you see a man that's in need of the word and he's hungry, you give him food first. You feed him before you try to give him the word. And so here it is. You have folks who are hungry, homeless, or about to be homeless, jobless, folks who have health issues, folks who are stressed out, folks who are in situations where they just don't know what's going to happen next, because the future was so uncertain. Well, our program really helped those folks in terms of who reached out to us for assistance, in terms of making sure we link them to their proper services, whether it be for mental health or environmental, like I said, for housing, education, food, and such. And so we linked them to those appropriate services free of charge. And so they didn't have to worry about how they were going to get money to take care of these things. We made sure we linked them to programs that were not charging, and receiving those, so they could receive those services. Once they did that, then we followed up with them with a satisfaction survey as well. Now, the other component that we had was the modules that you guys helped me with. Again, another very professional hip rock star corporation, where you guys helped us with the programming for the workshop modules that we had. The modules were done to make sure that those people who didn't feel comfortable talking to someone about their issues or their concerns about COVID-19 or how it was affecting them, they would get information from our trusted partners at Barry University School of Social Work. We had academicians who were there to really break things down to folks, to let them know how COVID was affecting them, what they could do to strategize and plan to, deal with the issues of depression, anxiety, and such. And then also really give them some sort of hope for tomorrow, because folks are so hopeless. So many people were hopeless because they didn't know what tomorrow holds, And so we had that component as well. So with the surveys, with the care coordination team, with the modules, we were able to assist help over 4,500 people in a very brief period of time. And the program closed out as a success. And right now, what we're doing is we're in the process of seeking for additional funding to expand the program services that we've offered and do some other work as well.
I'm
But
gonna,
this mental health thing is very important.
I'm gonna drop the website down in the comment section to make sure that
Okay.
people are still able to go there, because the resources are still, some of the resources are still available.
Right. Some of the resource list is there. We have a resource page. The modules are still up and running. We have affirmations that you can go on there and read and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of information at your disposal that we want you to make sure that you take advantage of. If anyone is feeling, like they don't have answers and they need it from a trusted source, definitely go to that website. You can go to CMHWP on Google it, and it'll give you the link, and you can go right there. And what we do is if you see the term path to wellness, that's us. We're really offering folks a path to wellness, and we want to make sure that people are getting the proper treatment and services that they need to thrive and survive during this challenging time.
Well, as always, Ruben, it is a pleasure for you to come on the show and talk to us. There was something that you told me about. What did you say you wanted us to talk about tonight on My Two Cents? What topic was it? You wanted us to bring something up?
Oh yeah, I would love for you guys to talk about the the um, the impeachment hearings. And one of the things that I think is very important about that is when you look at power dynamics and when the truth is exposed and people who are in power to make key decisions ignore the truth. That is a dynamic that we faced as a people since 1419, and I mean 1619, I'm sorry. And now the reality is the world is dealing with that now, because it's not just affecting us, it's affecting everybody. But this is something that we have to make sure that we address. Folks who are elected are supposed to represent their constituents, not their own interests. What you see folks in political office doing now is trying to make sure that they ensure their next term.
Mm.
And so they go with what they think is popular instead of what's right. And so I'd love to hear you all talk about that tonight, because that's something that's important. We need people that's going to be doing the right thing for our society, and not the right things for themselves personally. Those who are supposed to be representing us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us up to date on the South Florida Black Prosperity Alliance and your mental health and wellness initiatives. And as always, you have an open door to come back and enlighten us on any projects that you're working on and additional information. Oh, also, I'm going to send you, for your resources for mental health and wellness, some information on Reskill Americans, which is a
Okay.
7-month program that is absolutely free. And they provide the education for you to be a coder. 7
Oh, wonderful.
Microsoft executives out in Seattle, Washington, came together and began this nonprofit group. And to your point that you brought up earlier, where you're saying the field is not level, that was the reason why they started this company. And because of
Yes.
technology, they don't see black and brown people. And the
Right.
barrier of entry is a lot harder through credit checks, trying to get financing to go back to school. How do you support yourself while you're in school? All of those things. So they pool money together. They're paying for it. It's grants. They have 1,000 openings per session. It's a 7-month virtual learning opportunity for anyone to reskill themselves, learn a new trade, or just to look for work. Some people just don't have jobs. So,
Right.
and it's free. So I'm going to provide that information to you as
Would
well.
love to have it, love to share it. So thank you so very much for that.
And thank you for coming again. And also, you all can join us tonight. We're back for My 2 Cents at 6 o'clock. We'll see you right here. And until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Culture is produced and owned by Hip Rock Star Media and cannot be reproduced or broadcast without written consent by Jessica Garrett Modkins. All rights reserved 2020.